Hi everyone, I'm Needlecraft Danny. This is a flosstube extra. Basically, it's going to be my WIP Parade and plans for 2022. It's going to be a long one. I have quite a few pages to talk through. I have written in kind of big letters because I want to read it while it lies in front of me. But still, I have a lot to talk about. I have just filmed my update video. So basically, all the WIPs I'm going to show you will have no additional progress in them. You will have seen all of them in the exact same state they are in right now. Of course, considering you have watched my last videos. But otherwise, they will all be the same state. That's kind of the way I like it to be. To have my WIP parades not as an update video, just a real extra. If you don't watch it, you don't miss anything. And yeah, because those WIP parades are normally very long, and I can understand if some people just do not have the time to watch all of those, because especially around the new year, a lot of flosstubers update theirs. So I can understand that, and therefore I kind of wanted I want to really have them as an extra on my channel. So yeah, that's basically it. So what am I going to talk about? What is happening in this video? First, I'm going to show you all the projects I finished in 2021. Not a whole lot, but a few I do have. Then I talk about challenges and challenge groups I'm going to participate in for 2022. My rotation plans, so how or which project am I going to stitch when, what days, stuff like that. And then I'm going to do my actual WIP parade, show you every project I have, with also telling you those specific year-end goals I have for those projects. And at the end, I'm going to do my plans for January in very great detail. Yeah, because in my last update video, I did no plans at all because I knew I wanted to do that this video. Yeah, so quite a lot to get through. I'm not going to film that in one take. I need to take breaks to actually put stuff away and get the next stuff out. Otherwise, I would not have the space around. So that's basically what we're going to do. And first of all, we're going to start with the projects I finished in 2021. 4 of those I have. So I'm going to show you the project with a picture of my starting point for 2021 and then when did I finish it and all those other details accordingly. And also if I have or do I have any FFO plans already. So let's start with the first one. The first one was Lavender Garden by Rico Designs. I show you a picture of what it looked like beginning of 2021 here. And it's now finished and I don't have it anymore. So I will post or I will put in some pictures of the finished piece in here. I finished Lavender Garden on the 26th of February to give it to my grandma for her birthday on the 13th of March. She turned 81 and I wanted to give her that tablecloth. Basically, it was already a tablecloth and in the middle was just a strip of Aida where you were supposed to stitch on, which I did. And I then did some lining on the back, ironed it on, so it would be a little bit more substantial. So I gave that to my grandma for her 81st birthday. I think I will have put in a picture of what it looked like on her coffee table because she loved it. And when I visited her the next time, she actually gave me a tablecloth she cross-stitched on way back when. So we basically swapped cross-stitch pieces or cross-stitch tablecloths, and for me that's very special. And I'm really happy I got the opportunity to give her a tablecloth, and she gave me one back. So that was my first finish for 2021. Then on the 24th of April, I finished the second piece, which was Lilac Fairy by Vavaco. I show a picture of my starting point, beginning of 2021 here. And this I have still with me, still not FFO'd, but here is the finished piece. She is stitched on a 14 count pale lilac Ada, and basically she is stitched 2/1 except for those backgrounds. Those are stitched 1/1 full crosses. I love her. She looks amazing. In her dress there's a lot of the DMC metallic, which was very annoying. And also all those backstitch lines in her face and her hands, and also down here in the dress, they were a pain. Basically, they not go according to the Ada squares, not even that you just have to pierce one in the middle. You have to pierce the Ada squares everywhere. And also sometimes the same Ada square 3 times in a different space. So that was really annoying to stitch. But yeah, it's beautiful. I really love that. You can see a little bit of the threads shining through. I don't care. If I FFO it, I will take care that that's not visible. I will try something. I want to FFO her sooner than later. I want to frame her because I already have a place for her in mind in my home. So I'm really hoping to get to that soonish and have her framed and up on my walls because she is beautiful. As I said, it was a kit by Vavaco. They have a companion piece called Butterfly Fairy, and I'm really tempted to buy that as well, just because I had so much fun stitching the Lilac Fairy that I really want to stitch Butterfly Fairy as well, although I don't necessarily like the picture as much as I do with my Lilac Fairy. So yeah, we will see about that. For now, Lilac Fairy is finished, and as I said, hopefully soonish she will be on my walls. Okay, then on the 31st of May, I finished my Stitchmania piece. Basically, the piece I'm talking about is Tiny Stockings Ornaments. It was a kit, and I stitched all 30 of those stockings. But I did not stitch them all in 2021. I stitched 3 in 2019, and then the 16 in 2020, and the remaining 11 I then stitched in 2021, more or less completely. I think completely during May 2021, because it was my Stitchmania piece. So yeah, I'm going to show you all of them, all 30, although 19 of those were already done before 2021. I do not have any starting pictures because I had finished the last one and not yet started the next one at the beginning of the year, so basically I do not have any starting pictures. Let's get started. As I said, 30 of those, so quite a bit to go through. We will first start with the 3 from 2019. That was this dog, this angel, and this one, a Merry Christmas to You. So those 3 I stitched in 2019, so 2 years ago. And then I stitched 16, also during Stitchmania or for Stitchmania, in 2020. Those 16 were this reindeer, this pattern one, baby Jesus, joy, fireplace, the horse, the candles, the lighthouse, snowman, flowers, happy holidays. Okay, I'm a little bit. Sorry. Next, the roses. I might cut it out. The birdhouse, Santa, and those birdies. So those were the 16 from 2020, and now we have 11 left from 2021. So the ones I actually stitched last year. I forgot to mention, I wanted to do that at the beginning. All of those are stitched on 14 count Aida 2/1. All provided in the kit. I cut the Aida down and then stitched them on those small cuts of Aida. Yeah, so first one for 2021 was the cat. Then we have the girl. Peace on earth. Another bird. Noel. Another pattern one. That one was really fast, I remember that. Christmas bird. Another flower. Another baby Jesus. Or an angel probably. Something like that. The presents. Christmas tree. And the last one is a winter scene. So all of those I plan to FFO as actual stockings. They are super tiny, so they probably won't fit a whole lot in. But I want to finish them as stockings because I think that would be really cute and a nice gift for family and friends for Christmas in a few years whenever I get around to actually FFO them. There is some felt provided in the kit, but they want you to glue it on. And I do not want to do that. I want to have them as real stockings. So I think the felt I have won't be enough. So I probably need to buy another bit of felt, maybe in green. So I have some with a red back and some with a green backing. But then I need to find out how to actually sew some stockings. I know on a few of them I do not have a whole lot of margin. So yeah, I will have to figure that out. But I want to do that. And yeah, maybe even for next Christmas or the one after. We will see. But so far that's the plan. All of those are stitched. I just need to FFO them, which, yeah, knowing me will take some time. But someday I will be able to do that. Yeah, and then to my last finish in 2021. That was on the 14th of October, and it was the Hello Sunshine cell from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So this is the finished piece. It's one of her seasonal trees. So far, she has all of them released. This is the summer tree. Before that one, I had already finished autumn and winter tree. So now summer tree is finished, and the spring tree is actually one of my WIPs at the moment. So yeah, this is Hello Sunshine. It was a stitch along. I followed along with the stitch along and actually stayed caught up all the time. It is stitched on a 28 count even weave that was provided in the kit with 1/1 4 crosses. there's a ton of margin on all the sides, and that's because, as I said, this fabric was provided in the kit, and Sally from Caterpillar Cross Stitch intends you to stitch 2/2 full crosses, and as I stitched it only a quarter as big, I have a lot of margin on every side, but it's so cute. Yeah, that's that one. FFO plans. I'm still waiting for Hello Petal, so the spring tree, the last one in the series. And then I want to finish or FFO them all together as pillows. And I'm not yet sure if I want to have the same fabric on the back for all of them, or if I want to have a fabric according to each season, or just a fabric in the color that's in there a lot. So for this one, it would probably be some yellow. I'm not sure yet. So that's the reason I decided to wait until Hello Paddle is finished as well, and I have all of them done, and then I will decide what I'm actually going to do with those. Yeah, those were my finishes. Not a whole lot this time. I stitched a whole lot of very big projects. Full coverage and non-full coverage. They are all very big. Which means I don't get a whole lot of finishes every year. 4 is a good number. I only started 3 new things, which means I actually got my WIP count from 19 down to 18. In the long run, I would like to be below 15, but I'm getting closer to that, so I'm happy. I'm really happy, and the projects I did finish this year do make me very happy. Lavender Garden was the first ever cross-stitch pattern I started, or the first ever cross-stitch project I started, and to have that one finished is a great feeling. So yeah, overall, really happy with my finishes this year. Now, let's move to the next point on my list for today. Challenges, challenge groups I'm going to participate in this year. I have a bit, not a whole lot, but I thought I wanted to talk about that before I start with my rotation, because in my rotation, I will mention a few of those. So the first one is WIP Go. WIP Go is brainchild of Jessie Marie Dustuff. I will link her below. She has a video on her channel quite recently explaining WIP Go. But basically what it is a bingo board with 25 squares. And every month Jessie calls 2 of those projects, except when the middle field is being called, that month we have 3 projects or 3 squares called. There are not a whole lot of rules. Basically, your board, your rules. For me, I put my year-end goals on my board, and so when they get called, and I have finished the goal, I will mark them complete. Last year, I basically ignored WIP Go. I had a WIP Go board. I kept it and kept it up to date with marking everything. But basically, I did not stitch on those projects when they got called during the month. I just stitched on whatever I liked, or whatever else, or whatever fit in with my rotation, and more or less ignored WIP Go. I just marked it complete at the end of the year. But otherwise, I did not really care for that. This year, I want to change that. In the month, my projects get called. I actually want to work on them. And not just for half an hour, I really want to work on them and put some good progress into them. We will see how good that works. But for now, that's the plan. I have my board finished. So this is my board for this year. Basically, in black is the project, and below is the goal I have for each project. Jessie already, on the 27th, the month before, she announces the numbers. So on the 27th of December, she announced the numbers for January. So 2 and 19. That's why they are already marked as called. And I do have 25 projects on there. I only have 18. So a few of those projects are on there twice. For example, the chimney sweep in here and in here. I put them on randomly, and still the chimney sweep got 2 squares next to each other, which is okay because Jessie called the numbers randomly as well. So as you can see with 2 and 19. Yeah, so that's my WIP board for this year. A challenge I'm definitely going to participate in, and this year a little bit more and focused on it than I did last year. Next is the Magical Stitches Mystery Year. Basically, we play the board game Clue. You get a clue packet. So, person killed person B with stuff like that. Probably know it. And you stitch to get some clues. You finish your challenges to get clues to actually guess the clue packet. I'm doing the monthly and weekly challenges. At least that's what I'm trying to do and what I'm starting the year with. They have a book series going with this year, starting in February. So there are 10 books, and we're reading from February to November. I have ordered the first book. I will read the first book. If I like it, I'm going to continue reading probably all of them. If not, then I won't continue reading. I'm not doing any reading challenges or anything like that. Just the monthly and weekly stitching challenges. Also, the yearly stitching challenge is nothing for me, so I'm not doing that. But the monthly and weekly, I'm at least trying. Especially for January, I have everything planned out, so we will see about that. Yeah. I think I did not explain it very well, this Magical Stitches Mystery Year, but I think it's all over YouTube and Facebook, so if you try to find out, I think you can. Then, next challenge group I'm in is the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group. They have a lot of challenges going on, and I do not have anything, well, except for one, but I don't have anything specific planned. Maybe if during 1 month a challenge is very appealing to me, I might join, but just for one challenge, something like that. For example, the Tour de France, they did that, I think in 2019 and in 2021 I participated. I really liked that, so that might be one of those challenges I actually participate in. There's one challenge in the Full Coverage Fanatics group that's called Bike Around Germany. As I am German, I have to participate. So basically, you stitch around Germany. There are quite a few different places. My hometown, well, the town I'm presently living in is actually Bremen, so on 3rd place. That's exciting. So I kind of had to participate. And basically, you stitch. You can decide to go for hours or minutes. So from Zettel to Wilhelmshaven, you need 1 hour to bike that distance. Therefore, you stitch 1 hour, or you do 120 stitches. So that's basically the idea behind that. A lot of different destinations, and you bike from one place to another, and the time you would be biking, you actually stitch. In the end, it's close to 35,000 stitches, which is fine for me. That should be possible just running along aside all the other challenges, and I kind of had to do it because it's back around Germany. Actually, 2 pages did not show that. So yeah, that's why I decided to participate in that. For every leg, you can choose a different project, so that's probably what I'm going to do. And I'm going to take stitches instead of hours or minutes. Stitches is, for me, is easier to keep track of than time. Okay, and then there might be some other monthly events like March Madness or Arbitrary August I'm going to participate in, but I'm not 100% sure about that yet, so not going to mention it any further in this video. Okay, that's been a lot of talking, and I'm not done yet. We move to rotation plans. What have I planned to actually do? Which order am I going to stitch in? Stuff like that. Last year, so 2021, I had 5 projects per week, and I really liked that, so I tried to stay close. What am I actually going to do? Every Monday, I'm going to stitch on my oldest full coverage project. I want to get at least 100 stitches in every day. That's possible even if it's a very busy day, or every Monday. That should always be possible. Yeah, that should work out. For a long time, those oldest full coverage projects will be golden kites. My 3 oldest full coverage projects are golden kites, and all 3 of those I want to get a large number of stitches in this year. Talk about that in a bit, but yeah. So I'm presently thinking about a stitch along together with Cassie. Something along those lines, like Monday is Golden Kite Day. Cassie has a golden kite as well. She wants to finish this year, so we kind of thought about that. Not sure if we actually decided to do that or if it was just an idea, but I really like that idea, and I might find the hashtag for that. But yeah, Monday, oldest full coverage project, I have not yet finished my goal on. If my oldest full coverage project, I have finished my goal, I will move on to the next one. On Tuesday, basically the same, just with non-full coverage. On Tuesdays, I'm going to stitch on my oldest non-full coverage project. Once again, I'm going to stitch on my oldest non-full coverage project until I have met my goal, and then I move on to the next one. Then, Wednesday and Thursday together, I'm going to stitch on one of my WIP projects that got called that month. I will also try to use that WIP project that I'm going to stitch on for 2 days for my weekly or monthly magical stitches challenges. Normally, we have around 4 weeks in a month, so 2 times I want to stitch on one of those called for WIP projects and 2 times on the other one. And not switch and not do 1 day on project 1 and 1 day on project 2. Instead, I'm going to do 2 weeks, 2 days on one project, and then I switch. Friday and Saturday are the days for my magical stitches challenges. So I try to complete as many challenges as possible, for sure the weekly ones and then the monthly ones as much as I can do, to just stay up to date and make sure I can actually finish the monthly ones in the month. However many projects I need to do that. And on Sunday, I then will have a bonus day. So there are basically 3 possibilities that could happen on a Sunday. First, finishing the challenges I did not finish yet for magical stitches. Or I will pull a random WIP from Tiny Decisions app, where we'll have a wheel with all my WIP goals that got called but have not yet finished their goal mark. So during January, there are 2 projects on that wheel because I only have 2 projects called for yet, and I'm not going to finish my year-end goal in January. And the third possibility for a Sunday is a random WIP. When I have finished my challenges and I have more or less finished everything in WIP Go, or the ones that aren't finished from WIP Go, I do not feel like stitching, I will choose a random WIP where my goal is not yet met. Projects I have met my year-end goal on will not be stitched on again until I have either finished all my goals or the year stuff, like I did this year, or 2021. Considering I only have 1 project for Magical Stitches Challenge and then choose another project for a Sunday, I will end up with 5 projects a week. I did that 2021, 5 projects a week, and I really liked that. But in 2021, I was a bit more, free. I just had 5 projects and I tried to stitch on every one a little bit during the week. This time I have it a little bit more organized, and each project has its own days. So we will see how I like that. If I continue doing that or if I just don't like it at all, we will see about that. I will kind of try during January and we will find out. But that's basically my rotation. Monday, oldest full coverage. Tuesday, oldest non-full coverage project. Wednesday and Thursday, WIP Go project. Friday and Saturday, Magical Stitches challenges. Sunday, bonus day. That's basically it. Okay, that was a lot of talking. I need something to drink, and then I will start my actual WIP Parade. So I need to take a break anyways to prepare for that, and I will be right back for you in a few seconds. Okay, I think I have everything prepared. I have sorted my WIPs into full coverage and non-full coverage, because that's basically how I'm going to stitch on during my rotation, with Monday being full coverage and Tuesday being non-full coverage day. I also have them in each of their categories, sorted them from oldest project, and I'm going to start with that, to the newest project last. Every project I'm going to show you, I will try to mention the start date. I have a picture from my starting point of 2021. I probably mentioned my goal for 2021. I finished my goal on all of my projects, but I think I still want to mention it. And then, of course, what my goal for 2022 is, and also if I think I can reach that goal, or if it might be too high or not enough, stuff like that. Basically, for my full coverage projects, I decided on a number of stitches over the whole year I want to accomplish, and then started to apply that to the different projects. This is the year of the oldest projects. My oldest projects are close to 3 years old now, so they're not old at all. But still, it's the year of the oldest projects, and therefore, the older the project is, the more progress I want to make on it. Which means that some of my projects do not get as many stitches as I would like. But also my old projects get a lot of stitches and a lot of progress. So I think I'm happy with that, and in the next years I just have to prioritize differently. But for this year, I like the idea of going with the oldest projects first. So, let's get started with full coverage. And by the way, half of it is done. Okay, my oldest full coverage project was started on the 1st of May in 2019, and that is Colorado Mountains by Golden Kite. This is going to be the finished piece, and I show you a picture of what it looked like beginning of 2021. In 2021, I wanted to do 4,563 stitches on this one, which I accomplished, and then a little bit more at the end of the year. So this is where I'm at right now. This is my starting point for 2022. It is stitched on a 25 count even weave. I'm stitching 2 over 110 stitch, needleminder from Danka Designs. And for 2022, as this is my oldest full coverage piece, I want to finish it. That should be achievable. It's around 30,000 stitches that are still missing. With the golden kites, I don't have any exact numbers because I'm stitching from paper patterns, but I think I'm still missing around 30,000 stitches to actually finish this one, and I'm really looking forward to do that. So yeah, this is Calvary Mountains, my oldest full coverage piece. So I have to tidy up right after I film each clip for each project. So you might have some breaks in between while I roll up my projects, but otherwise it's going to be such a mess that I probably will spend hours cleaning it up, and that's not going to happen. The next oldest full coverage piece is the Chimney Sweep, also by Golden Kite. I started this the 13th of May 2019. This is going to be the finished piece, and I show you a picture of what it looked like at the beginning of 2021. With this one, it's always kind of complicated to see something because I'm stitching extreme cross country, starting with all the whites up in the left corner. But in 2021, I wanted to do 4,563 stitches on this one, which I, of course, accomplished, and then a little bit more. Most noticeably, probably up here with some more stitches, and I'm not sure about the light. I will pause this video for a bit. This might be better. So yeah, 4,563 stitches in 2021. My goal for 2022 are 11,000 stitches. That should be doable, and I hope that also means I actually get into more of the darker colors and you actually get to see something. This is also stitched on a 25 count even weave, and I'm stitching 2 over 110 stitch needleminder from Danka Designs. Yeah, especially down here, there are only a few ninja stitches in all those whites, so you can't see a whole lot. But there is already quite good progress in there. Okay, then we have the next full coverage piece. It is another Golden Kite. It is Norwegian Ship Under Sail, the small edition, as I said, by Golden Kite. And I started this one on the 4th of June 2019. So I show you a picture of the starting point 2019. Sorry, starting point 2021, of course. On this one, once again, the goal was 4,563 stitches, which basically meant that page up here and a little bit more down here. This is stitched on 18 count antique white Aida, and I'm stitching 2 over 1 full cross, needleminder from Danka Designs. Sorry, this fabric is not easy to handle. Okay. So with this one, in 2022, I want to do 10,000 stitches. I think that's a very hard goal because this project has a lot of blended colors, it's full cross, it's a paper pattern, but I should be able to do that. Yeah, I love it. I'm really looking forward to continue stitching on it, which is probably going to help with achieving my goal, because it can be a little bit draining to stitch on it too much, just because it's really complicated. Yeah, those were all my Golden Kites. But those are the 3 oldest projects, and all of them have very high numbers I want to achieve this year. That's why every Monday I think it would be a nice idea to stitch on a Golden Kite every Monday. Okay, next then is Basically, the next, quite a few projects are started during August 2019. That's because back then I did Obituary August, where I basically had one bowl for WIPs and one bowl that I choose projects out of, where all my kitted up projects were in. And I did a new start with the one I chose, and it shows a lot of full coverage. So the next one is Mini Magic Mirror by Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Anne Stokes, and I started this one on the 2nd of August 2019. That's going to be the finished piece, and I show a picture of what it looked like at the beginning of 2021. And this is where I got to. So with this one, I, in 2021, did 9,126 stitches. I finished page 3 and page 2. And yeah, this is where I'm at right now. She stitched on 28 count Lugana. I'm stitching 2/110 stitch. The needleminder is from Just Sue Heavenly. And in 2022, I want to do 9,000 stitches, which will be very nice because I will finish the first row of pages, and I'm looking very much forward to that. So yeah, that's that. I'm going through those really fast. I do notice that, but there's not a lot to talk about actually. So yeah, I hope I say everything I want to say. But yeah, I did all the talking before. Okay, and then 3 days later, on the 5th of August 2019, I started Dragon Dancer, also by Having Enough Designs, also artwork by Anne Stokes. This is going to be the finished piece, and I show a picture of what it looked like at the beginning of 2021. And this is where I'm at right now. So in 2021, I did 9,126 stitches on that. So I finished that page, and started that one down here. This is stitched on a 32 count white linen, and I'm stitching 2/110 stitch. And in 2022, I want to do 8,000 stitches on this one, which should get me a page finish down here and maybe even one up here. Yeah, and down here, there finally is a little bit of the dragon started. In 2022, with stitching just that page and that one up here, I won't do anything more in the dragon, but I'm getting closer and closer, and finishing the background is nice as well. So I have the exciting parts till the end. Okay. Then another few days later, on the 9th of August 2019, I started Four Seasons, also by Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Jesse Gierka. This is the finished piece. This one I stitched in 20 by 20 blocks over the whole width of the pattern, before I then moved down one row and again stitched 20 by 20 blocks over the whole width. So I'll show you a picture of what it looked like at the beginning of 2021 here. And this is where I got to. So basically, this in 2021, I finished the last bit of the first row and then moved down into the second one and worked my way through there. This is stitched on a 25 count even weave. I'm stitching 1/1 4 crosses, and the needleminder is from Denkai Designs. I bring it a little bit closer. My year-end goal for 2021 were 4,563 stitches. And for 2022, I want to do 7,000 stitches, which should get me through that second row of 20 by 20 blocks, and even I think a start on the third one, which is very exciting. I'm really very much looking forward to that. Okay, this one is very complicated to roll up, but I really have to do it now because otherwise I'm going crazy afterwards. So just bear with me for a bit and we will move on right away. Okay. Oh, I did not. Yeah, I did say. On the 9th of August, I started this one. And once again, 2 days later, on the 11th of August 2019, I then started Storykeep the Frog Prince, also by Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Melanie Dallin. This is going to be the finished piece. And I show you a picture of what it looked like beginning of 2021. And this is where I got to after 9,126 stitches in 2021. I basically continued in those diagonals with 10 by 10 blocks, but I have reached now the top right corner, which is very exciting. And I stitched the crown and started her hair and started a little bit of her dress in here. So all very, very exciting. She is stitched on a 32 count light blue linen, and I'm stitching 2 over 110 stitch. And in 2022, I want to do 7,000 stitches on her, which should get me good, nice progress, give me her face, a little bit of her dress, stuff like that, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, Storykeep the Frog Prince. Once again, this one is not really easy to roll up, which you normally won't expect because it's not that big of a fabric, but well, it still is. Because I have a lot of puck threads in here, that's probably the problem. Okay, then on 18th of August 2019, I started Mini Katie and Cruncher, also Having Enough Designs. The artwork is by Hannah Lynn. This is going to be the finished piece, and I show a picture of what it looked like beginning of 2021 here. And this is where I'm at right now after 9,126 stitches during 2021. She is stitched on a 25 count even weave. I'm stitching 2 over 110 stitch needleminder from Danka Designs. And I'm continuing those columns, getting shorter and shorter on my way to the right. In 2022, I want to finish 6,000 stitches on her, which I guess is okay. And which should give me the start of the second eye, which I'm looking very much forward to. Okay. Seems like right now we're at all those very complicated fabrics. So yeah, as I said, bear with me. I'll be right back with the next project. Which is actually the last project I started during arbitrary August in 2019. So it is Mini Cinderella by Having Enough Designs. Artwork is by Alexandra Daw. And I started this one on the 20th of August in 2019. This is going to be the finished piece, and I show a picture of what it looked like at the beginning of 2021. And this is where I'm at right now with more than 50% done. I did 9,126 stitches during 2021 to reach that. And she is stitched on a 28 count light blue even weave. I'm stitching 1 over 1 full crosses. Needleminder from Danka Designs. There is charted Krennic in there. You're supposed to use a Krennic number 4 braid and in the colorway 032. I did not like that. Way too bulky, not a lot of fun. So I decided to try out the blending filament from Krennic in the colorway 032 and decided to stick with that, blend it with one strand of B5200. That was the color most used in the design, and I finished that this year, which I'm very, very happy about because it wasn't a whole lot of fun. So now I only have 13 colors left to finish in the design. This year, in 2022, I'm going to stitch my goal is 5,000 stitches on her. I probably would have liked more, maybe even to finish her. But maybe I'm super fast with all my goals and have the time at the end of the year to actually do that. But first, or so far, the goal is 5,000 stitches on her. Which is still a good number. 5,000 stitches is not nothing. It's quite a bit of stitching. But it would have been nice to actually finish her either this year or then. I actually had, for a short time, had hoped to actually finish her in 2021. So it's a bummer that she probably won't be finished in 2022 either. But that's the way it is, and I have some projects that I prioritized higher this year. Okay, then let's move on to Supersized Max Color Cliffhanger, also by Haven't Enough Designs. The artwork is by Amy Stewart. I started this one on the 7th of October in 2019. This is going to be the finished piece. And I show a picture of what it looked like beginning of 2021 here. So this is where I'm at with that one. I know the fabric is very dirty over here. I don't care. I'm going to stitch over it. And in about 50 years when I'm done with that, I'm going to wash it anyways. This one, I stitched 4,563 stitches in 2021, which gave me a page finish up here and a nice start on this page down here, sorry. In 2022, I want to do 4,000 stitches, which honestly isn't enough. It's even less than I did last year, so I might get a page finish over here, but probably nothing more. And that's a little bit disappointing, I have to say, because it's one of my favorites. It's one of my biggest projects, and I really would like to someday get a finish on that. It is stitched on 40 count, 1/110 stitch, 40 count Newcastle linen, 1/110 stitch. Yeah, can't wait to get back to this, and I just love it. I just wish I would do more on it this year. But well, I have to prioritize differently in another year, and then I might get more progress in to this one. Okay, and now to the last full coverage piece that I have as a WIP. That is Supersize Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale, also by artwork by Amy Stewart and charted by Haven't Enough Designs. This is going to be the finished piece. I'm up here in that corner over there, and I first want to stitch the first row or the first shelf before I move down. Not going to happen in 2022. I show a picture of what it looked like beginning of 2021 here. And this is where I'm at right now. This was my new year, new start. So I started in 2020. So I started it on the 1st of January 2020. So it's now turning 2 years old today, which you can see from the progress. In 2021, I did 4,563 stitches on this one. It is stitched on 40 count Newcastle linen, 1/110 stitch. Needleminder is from Lakeside Needlecraft. And I bring it a little bit closer because I love it. In 2022, I only want to do 3,000 stitches on this one, which is not even nearly enough. But it's the same problem as with Cliffhanger. The way I prioritized this year just means this one is last place. And I really need to prioritize in a different way in the years to come. But for now, that's Once Upon a Fairy Tale. This is always when I have that, when I show that on camera, I just never want to take it away because I really love it. But yeah, all those other projects did not get a whole lot of attention, so this one doesn't either. Okay, overall of my 11 full coverage pieces, this year I want to do 100,000 stitches overall. I do not make a difference if it's tent or full cross. Just 100,000 stitches overall, and the oldest projects get the most progress, which you have seen or heard with my goals. Yeah, that's been my full coverage project. Now, once again, I'm going to take a break, put all the full coverage pieces away, and bring out non-full coverage pieces so we can go through those next. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, now let's get started with my non-full coverage project. Once again, I'm going from the oldest project to the newest, telling you about what my goal for 2021 was, what my goal for 2022 will be, and of course a starting picture from 2021, except for the ones I started in 2021, of course. Okay. First, my oldest ever project that I started on the 7th of April in 2019 is Tiger Turning Out by Dimensions. This is going to be the finished piece, and I show you a picture of what it looked like beginning of 2021 here. So this is where I'm at right now. My goal for 2021 was to finish the first or the top half of the design, which I did. You can see the line over here, and basically everything above that is done, including backstitching and couching, which I had to do for his whiskers and his eyebrow. This is stitched on an 18 count black Aida. The tiger is stitched 2/1 full crosses, and the water and the reflections are stitched with 1, 2, or 3 strands of half stitch. So this is my starting point for 2021, and 2022, of course. And my goal for 2022 is to finish this. There's a lot. The bottom half is way bigger than the top half, but it's only half stitches, or mostly half stitches. So I should be able to do that fairly quickly. It's not the easiest to say that, especially considering it's black Aida, because to stitch on this one, I normally need daylight, which especially in the winter, I do not have for a long time. So we will see about that, but I should be able to finish that. Next project is the Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. This is going to be the finished piece, and my goal for 2021 was to finish band number 12, and as well as with the full coverage pieces, I did finish all my goals for 2021 for my non-full coverage pieces as well. So therefore I finished band number 12 in here, reached the bottom left corner, and now have only that part missing for 2022. I show a picture of my starting point for 2021. And this is where I'm at right now. So I think for 2021, I started up here somewhere in band number 5 and did all of that. Finished band number 12, the first color of band number 13 as well. So I'm really happy with that. This one was started on the 26th of September in 2019. As I said, my goal for 2021 was to finish band number 12. And my goal for 2022 is now to finish it completely, which should be really easy actually, because there's just not a whole lot missing. And I like to take this one as my treble stitching, which means it should get good progress over the whole year, or as long as it takes. Yeah, so with this one, I'm really getting close to finish, and I'm really looking forward to it. So this might actually be the first finish of 2022, hopefully, soonish. Okay, next is the Raven Queen by Mirabilia. This is going to be the finished piece. Goal for 2021 was to finish the top half. So I show you a picture of what it looked like beginning of 2021 here. And this is where she's at right now. She was started on the 8th of October in 2019. She stitched on a 32 count gray linen, and I'm stitching 2/2 full cross. And I just realized with the other projects I did not say nothing about needle minders, and of course I forgot fabric for the twisted band sampler, so I do that in a bit. But yeah, she stitched on a 32 count gray linen 2/2 full crosses. As I said, my goal for 2021 was to finish the top half, which I did, and in 2022 I want to finish her completely now. There's not a whole lot of background, but the dress is really big, especially in the bottom area, so it's gonna be hard, but I think I should be able to do that. So this is my Raven Queen. Now, let's move to the 2 projects I forgot to tell you the details about. On Tiger Chilling Out, the needle minder I have on here is from Kite Designs. With the twisted band sampler, the needle minder is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and the fabric is a 32 count white opalescent linen. I'm stitching with the called for Dinky Dyes. There's a conversion for Overa Soir, one for DMC and one for Dinky Dyes. I chose the Dinky Dyes. And as indicated in the pattern, I'm stitching the full crosses 1/2 full cross, and all the specialty stitches as indicated as well, mostly with 1 strand of floss. There was 1 kind of specialty stitches with 2 strands of floss. So, did that. Okay, then let's move on to my 4th project, my fourth non-full coverage project is Sleepy Hollow by Glen & Place. This is going to be the finished piece, and as this is a Halloween piece, I started it on the 31st of October in 2019. I show a picture of my starting point for 2021 here. And this is where I got to. I just talked about all of this once before, and I did not press start filming. So let's talk about it a second time. Yeah, so this is Sleepy Hollow. And I think I said it started on the 31st of October in 2019. My finish for 2021 was to finish the first row of pages, which I did, and then a little bit more. My goal for 2022 is to finish it completely, which will be kind of hard, but I should be able to do this. This is stitched on a 28 count casual linen in the colorway Haunted by Picture This Plus, which is the called for fabric. The needle minder is from Kite Designs. I'm stitching this with anchor colors. There's a conversion for Sullivan's USA and one for DMC, and of course one for anchor colors or anchor threads, and I decided to go with the anchor because it was charted in anchor. For DMC and as well Sullivan's USA, there is the same color used for 2 different symbols because that was the closest match to the anchor colors in which they were charted. Anchor is easier to get in Germany than DMC, so I went with the obvious choice and went with the anchor colors, and I'm really happy about that. The moon is stitched in with the Karen Water Lilies called Lemon and Lime, and I love how it turned out. Anything else I said about that? And now forget because I already did it before. I think not. I think the thing I mentioned, because of a comment I did before when I didn't even film, it sounded like I wasn't super motivated anymore to do this video, which I really am. I love WIP parades. I love to watch them. I love to film them. And to rewatch from time to time just to see how much progress I made myself. Because stitching on the same project day to day, you just don't see any progress anymore. And I am really motivated to do those. But I've been filming now for over 3 hours. First with my update video, now with the WIP parade. So it's getting a it's getting a little bit tiring, especially after only 3 hours of sleep tonight. So yeah, I'm going to power through it. It's not a whole lot left. And then I can finally go to sleep after I edited and uploaded and all those things. Now we finally move on from 2019 and get into some other projects. This one was my birthday start. So on the 16th of June in 2020, I started this one. It's called Cinderella Rags to Riches by Joan Elliott. I'm stitching the combined version up here. And my goal for 2021 was to finish Cinderella in Rags. I show you a picture of my starting point for 2021 here. And this is where I got to. So as you can see from the starting point to now, I did a ton on this. I had just this little tiny ornament and a little bit of the window, I think, started. And I did finish all of that. So I'm really happy with my progress on this one. My goal for 2022 is to finish Cinderella in Rags, so completely finish the piece. Cinderella in Riches is my goal for 2022. But as you can see, that dress is a lot bigger and way more stitch intensive than this one. So to achieve that goal will be very hard, and I'm actually very curious if I'm able to do that in just 1 year, because I'm definitely not sure about that. But it will look amazing once it's done. So yeah, this is Cinderella Rags to Riches. It is stitched on 28 camp casual linen in the colorway Fog by Pictures Plus, and I'm stitching 2/2 4 crosses. Needleminder from Designs. Yeah, I just really love how Cinderella and Rags turned out. I'm really happy. And now I can't wait to see how Cinderella and Riches will turn out. But for that, I have to stitch quite a bit. Okay, now we will move to the projects I started in 2021, which means I do not have a starting picture of the beginning of 2021 anymore, because I hadn't started it back then, which is exciting. We're moving to my newest project. So, first project, is Royal Games number 2 by Mirabilia. This is going to be the finished piece, and this one I started on the 10th of January in 2021. My goal for 2021 was to finish the first queen, and I started with the Queen of Diamonds, I think, up here. So my goal was to finish her, and that's what I did. So she's already done. I've started a little bit on the next queen, and my goal for 2022 is to finish it completely. They are stitched on a 32 count white opalescent linen. I'm stitching 2/1 4 crosses and needleminder from Designs. They are super sparkly, a lot of beads in here, and I can't wait to have the second queen done, to have another finish in my books. That would be amazing. It should be doable. Those queens are not super big, especially for Mirabilia. There are way bigger ones out there. So yeah, I should be able to do that. Okay, and then to my last project. We're barely there, nearly there. The last project is one I started on the 29th of October 2021, so a very recent one. It is called Hello Petal by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. That's basically the finished piece. And this one I'm stitching as a stitch along with some friends and whoever else wants to join. I started a day late. Officially, we started on the 28th of October, and every month we start one of those parts. So on the 28th of December, we started with part 3, and the last part will be started on the 28th of February, so that we are able to have it ready, the spring tree ready for spring. yeah, as I said, started one day late, so on the 29th of October in 2021, and my goal for 2021 was to finish those 2 parts. I did not want to have the part 3 already done, because that would have meant I needed to spend the last few days just stitching on this one to get the part done, and I did not want to commit myself to that. So just those 2 parts that I wanted to have done. I show you where I'm at with part 1 and 2 finished, and I have already started part number 3 but not yet finished. My goal for 2022 is, of course, to finish the whole piece, kind of going along with the stitch along. So that should be fairly easy to finish that. It is stitched on a 28 count even weave I received in the kit, and I'm stitching 1/1 full crosses. Needle minder is from Denka Designs. And yeah, I'm just so happy. It looks amazing. It does. Very cute. Yeah, and that's my last project. So I'm done with that part. Basically, if you have listened carefully, or maybe you just noticed, at the end of 2022, if I go according to all my goals and finish all of them, I will have no non-full coverage projects left, because for all my non-full coverage projects, my goal for 2022 is to finish the project, which I'm very much looking forward to. And I'm going to give you a preview. I'm really thinking about 2023 then being my year of new starts. So it would be nice to finish all of those projects so I can start a whole lot of projects then in 2023. Especially some new non-full coverage pieces, because I don't have any more left if everything goes according to plan. Yeah, so I showed you all my projects for my year of the oldest projects. For the non-full coverage ones, as I said, I want to finish all of them. For the full coverage ones, the oldest projects get the most progress, and the newer the project is, the less progress it will get in 2022. Just because it's the year of the oldest project. Yeah, that's that. Now, one more topic left to talk about. I will need another break for that, so I can prepare. But my last topic is the detailed plans for January. So what projects am I actually going to stitch during January? What are my WIP projects? What projects am I going to use for magical stitches? Stuff like that. So I prepare and be right back in a few seconds so I can share with you. Okay, I'm prepared. I did not bring the project itself, but I did bring the cover pictures just to remind you of the project. But the project itself, you all saw them a little bit ago, so it's too much effort to actually bring the project. I just decided to go with the cover pictures. So let's talk about January. Well, basically, only the first week of January I'm actually home. Thereafter, the rest of January and a little bit of February, I'm on a work trip. That means I can only take limited projects with me. I will still probably take around 6 or 7, so to not get bored, if I get any stitching at all. My last work trip was over 2 weeks, and I think I got 300 stitches in. So we'll see. I'm going in motivated, hopefully doing a lot, but not sure about that. I try to do the weekly and monthly magical stitches challenges, as well as stitch a little bit forward for WIP Go. But first, today and tomorrow, it's Saturday and Sunday. Yes, the first magical stitches challenges already start, but I decided, as it's technically not really the start of the year yet, with it being Saturday and Sunday, I decided to stitch on one non-related project, because that project has its birthday today. It is Super Size Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Amy Stewart. As I said, I started this as my new year, new start back in 2020, so it turns 2 years old today, and therefore I want to stitch on it a little bit. As today is busy with doing 2 videos, I want to stitch on it today and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, before I then start with the new week. So that project will be stitched on a little bit. Then for WIP Go, I'm just going to show you the 2 projects that got called for this month. So in January, we have Mini Katie and Cruncher called for, as well as Dragon Dancer. So I tried to include them into my magical stitches, which worked quite well. And I'm going to talk about that now. Let's start with Magical Stitches Weekly. We already know all 4 weeks for January, which challenges we're going to face. Basically, you could set yourself a goal of how many stitches you want to stitch. I decided for 300. I think that's possible even away at a work trip. We will see. And in the first week, we're supposed to stitch on our newest project. As I said, I set myself the goal of 300 stitches, so I need 300 stitches on Hello Petal by Kite Cross Stitch. The second week is the goal we set ourselves, so 300 stitches on my oldest project, and that is Tiger Chilling Out by Dimensions. The third week is then the most colorful project, which for me is Super Size Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale, because it has 238 colors in it. And once again, 300 stitches. Few of those are 10 stitch projects, so for this one example, I would need 610 stitches. So quite a lot. And then in the 4th week of January, we need to stitch on the project that has the most stitches already stitched. That one was kind of complicated to figure out, but I did. And for me, that's Dragon Dancer by Heaven and Earth Designs. Sorry. So I'm going to stitch on this one for 610 stitches. The Magical Stitches Monthly. Basically, we start reading in February, and the challenges will be done around the books. But for January, we don't have a book yet. So basically, the theme is arriving at the stitching retreat. You first have to do 1,000 stitches on any project you like. I decided to go with Mini Katie and Cruncher, because it's a WIP Go project and it's 10 stitch, so 10 stitches into this one is a nice progress for the month it got called for WIP Go. So I am very happy about that. Then we need to do another 1,000 stitches on another WIP, whatever WIP we like. Once again, I decided to go with my WIP Go project, and we'll do 1,000 stitches into Dragon Dancer. Once again, it is a 10 stitch project, so I will end with 2,010 stitches. That's a really nice number of stitches for my WIP Go. As well as I cannot double dip. I cannot count the stitches I do for the weekly challenge for the monthly one as well. Which means basically I end up with 2,610 stitches already done on Dragon Dancer in this first month. And that, if I manage to do that, that will be amazing. Then next, for the Magical Stitches Monthly Challenge, we need 2,000, well, we could decide either do 2,000 stitches or 1,000 stitches. But with the 2,000 stitches, I think you will get a hint for your clue package. So I decided to do 2,000 stitches, and I decided to go with Colorado Mountains by Golden Kite. Again, a 10 stitch project, so I will end up with 4,000 stitches on this one, which is amazing. I want to finish this year. So 4,000 stitches progress, that's great. I just have to manage to do that. I also stitch on it every Monday anyways, so I should be able to make the time to actually do enough progress on this one. Those Magical Stitches monthly challenges I actually have to do in order. So I first have to finish the first two challenges before I can start counting the stitches on colorway months for my monthly stitching. But I will stitch on it every Monday anyways, even if the stitches don't count towards my monthly. Okay, it's very complicated. And last, for the Magical Stitches monthly challenge, we need to do 1,313 stitches on our newest project. Once again, that's Hello Petal. With the 300 stitches for the weekly and the 1,313 stitches for the monthly, I will for sure finish part number 3 and maybe even start part 4, which I then have to work out in a timely manner, because I can only start I only want to start part 4 on the 28th of January, so I will then have 4 days left to actually finish my stitch count. But that should be possible. Okay. Those are all the challenges. Now we talk about what exactly I'm going to do until I see you again. My next video will most likely be on Saturday. Before I leave for my work trip, I want to take a whole day and just do the video and talk about everything that's going to happen while I'm away. That means, until I see you again, I will stitch on Supersize Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale for today and tomorrow. On Monday, I will then stitch on my oldest 4 coverage piece, Colorway Mountains. On Tuesday, I will stitch on my oldest non-4 coverage piece, Tiger Chilling Out. On Wednesday and Thursday, I will then start with my WIP project, as well as start stitching towards the monthly Magical Stitches challenge. So I'm going to stitch on Mini Katie and Cruncher. Hopefully in those 2 days already doing 2,010 stitches, which I doubt, but it would be nice. And then on Friday and Saturday, those are the days for my Magical Stitches challenges, that's the word. So I'm going to stitch on Hello Petal to do those 300 stitches I need for my weekly. And with the rest of the time, because I won't need 2 days to do that, I will then continue with Mini Katie and Cruncher to finish the 2,000 stitches if I haven't already done that. And then, if I have still some time left, move over to Dragon Dancer to start the next monthly challenge. And then I'm going to film again on Saturday, so we will see each other again. And I will tell you what I actually did, what I actually managed to do, and we will also talk about what happens later on and when I'm on my work trip. I think that's it. It's been a long one. I have no idea how long it actually is because I did film it in little clips. But considering the time that has passed, I know it's been a long one. I hope you still enjoyed, or maybe you enjoyed just because of that. If you liked it, please leave me a like, leave me a comment. I'm always happy to answer any comments I receive. Just seeing another comment makes me happy. So yeah, if you like, just write something nice. Subscribe to my channel, click on the little bell if you want to be notified when I upload another video. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and are looking as much forward to 2022 as I am. I'm really, those last 2 weeks of 2021, I was so eager to already start with my projects for 2022. I had all my plans figured out for magical stitches and all those other things, and I really wanted to get started, and it wasn't 2022 yet, so I couldn't, and that was really kind of a bummer. So I'm very happy it's now 2022 and I can finally start. So I'm going to do that probably at the same time as editing, just because I really want to start. And I will be back next Saturday to tell you what I actually did. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and I see you next time. Bye!